Welcome back to the What I Meant to Say podcast for part 2 of my conversation with athlete, family man, and all-around solid human Shawn Ledig. I'm your host, Wendy Jones, and I started these conversations because life doesn't give us do-overs. We're back with Shawn today because he had so much wisdom, we broke it into 2 episodes. Today you'll hear about Shawn's path to become a Jiu-Jitsu world champion at the age of 46, and how he has used the transformative power of forgiveness to heal relationships and build a strong family and community around him. Shawn's energy and words are contagious, so sit back and enjoy this awesome conversation.
Look, and I'm not perfect by any means. I've stumbled and failed like everybody else more times. Look, I've failed at so many things. I mean, most people don't want to share their failures, but I mean, man, I got beat. I can. This is the one thing I can tell you. I'll take a beating. You're probably gonna have to kill me before I stop something.
Yeah.
If I'm focused on it, if I'm obsessed, and I am that way, I've got an obsessive personality. So like we showed the little man on there, we got him into jiu-jitsu a little over a year ago, and he had asked me to start it, and I was like, this is fun. I'll think about it, and I did a class or two, but I mean, we were still revving up for. Me and Chris were still ready for Atlantic City. So I mean, I didn't put a lot of effort into it. I went to a couple of classes, and then but I was still working to get out because I hadn't played with the COVID thing. Remember, I got hurt, right in Austin, I think in 2019 with my hip labrum, and so I was kind of coming off an injury, especially at our age. I mean, at my age of 45, it sucked. I mean, I got some PRP injections, and I did everything you could possibly imagine. I kept my body in shape. The diets that my diet is 7 days a week. It's not, everything I do, supplementation, everything, the trainers I go see, the physical therapist I go see, the chiropractors I go see. I mean, it's a
full-time job thing. Yeah, Shawn and I go back and forth. I love the stuff he posts because we can line our products up next to each other. He'll put something on his story, and I'm like, yep.
But how many times have I sent you a picture, like to say some of the CBD stuff and everything, and you'll send me a picture back,
right back.
Product.
So
totally. We do this all the time, but like it's like, and I don't, and that's how, like, people ask me, they're like, what do you do and how do you do this? Well, it changes now so 9 months ago I said, you know what, Soren? Yeah, let's get into it. So I started jiu-jitsu after we got back from Atlantic City. Really was like when I first went multiple times a week and got into a little tournament because Seth got into it. I actually won. Could have lost that one easy. I think it was actually one of my own teammates, Craig Gaspard, that I competed against. He's a little younger than I am, but super, super good athlete, very strong person. And that kind of kicked an interest. I was like, this is pretty cool, I said, I love the volleyball thing, but I was like, this is something where it's just me by myself. And not to say that I ever had any partners that caused me, to lose any kind of major games or anything.
No,
but,
okay.
But like, I mean, it's really, I liked it, and it just piqued my interest. So I started to train a little harder, and then another tournament came up. So I won that one. Won a silver medal in that. I won multiple medals in that. And then I went to the big boys, and that's when I went to Vegas. I got that gold medal. And then the next one was the one I was in Anaheim, and I wish I could have caught up with you guys. It was just crazy, me getting in there, getting into Anaheim.
Did you win Anaheim too?
I did. I won that gold medal.
Yeah.
So that was the Masters International. So look, you see all those bad boys back there?
Oh man, nice. Line them up next to each other.
Oh, so this is the one here, like these. So
did you hear the weight of the clanging?
Look,
I just heard the weight. I just heard the weight of the clanging.
Look, yeah, oh yeah.
Nice.
So they're both IBJJF, is International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. So this one was Vegas. This was Jiu-Jitsu Con, which but it was a big stage, but it wasn't This one here is almost like the World Cup, Jay.
Yeah.
So I pulled this one off, and it was good. Look, the competition was awesome. Actually, competed against 2 phenomenal competitors, and I ended up, making it out on top. So with that, we decided that I was going to go to Rome next month, and I'm going to go compete in the European Championships.
Very nice.
So,
yeah.
So there's really 4 big tournaments throughout the season or the year. It's the Pan Americans, the Vegas Worlds. They got the international, and then they've got the European. So, but I'm number 1 in my weight division right now in the world.
Very good.
It's super heavy. But I'm actually competing at a younger age. Because
Okay.
the first tournament, nobody was in there in my division, so I moved down to I guess 1980 and up,
Got
because
you.
I'm 1975. So I ended up getting my points in that. So I was like, you know what? I wrote this down in my journal about 7 months ago that I wanted to win some tournaments, and then I said I want to become, and I said it. It's in there. I mean, I can show you. I want to become and I'm a big proponent of that. Like any of the girls that I've ever coached, any of the boys I coach, first thing I say is get a journal.
Yep.
You're going to write down what colleges you want to go to, what it is, why you want to do this, how you think we're going to do this, and then we talk about it. And then you need to give me three things that you want to accomplish in volleyball, three things that you want to accomplish in your school, your education, and then three things you want to accomplish in your life. So I do that for myself, and that's what I put. I said I want to become, and I said it, number one at my in my division, in my weight class, in my age, in the world. Yeah. And so I looked at it and I knew it was feasible. I said, if I win this tournament, win this tournament, I can do it. So if I go to Europe and I win that tournament, the European Championships, I'll take the number one spot overall, not just in my weight division. So
that's going to be great.
It's going to be so great.
So
yeah. Were you
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Were you skinny as a kid?
I was. I was skinny. And so that, like, I laughed. That's what me and Wendy were talking about earlier. I was like, I looked very young growing up. So that's why I mean, now people are like, oh, I said maybe it's a blessing, it's a curse. I wasn't like some buffed up guy. Like after I got out of high school and I found out what the weight room was in college,
right.
I gained weight fairly quick. My first time I ever worked out was with a strength coach called Gail Hatch. He was an Olympic weight trainer. And when I tell you, this guy put us on the map as far as like, man, he made me work out with a broomstick for the first 3 weeks, it seemed like. And that's what he does. But he had everybody from Warwick Dunn to Todd McClure, you name it, had all of the LSU players out there. And our coach, Eddie, was like, you need to go see him. And so you're talking, this is me, a guy that could dunk from the dots, as a natural athlete. And after about 3 months with him, I was dunking from almost the free throw line and putting my chin above the rim because it's all powerlifting.
Right.
I'd never lifted a weight in my life. I don't know if you know a guy named Lester Earl. He played for Glen Oaks and LSU.
Yeah, Glen Oaks.
Randy and some other guys. Yeah, and so whenever we would work out together, we were so unbelievably weak. We would work out with the 45-pound bar and like 10-pound dumb and like shaking. And then, as a 17, 18-year-old, of course, your body's going to physically mature quicker. So, yeah, I went from that 175 weight to 195. People are like, oh, my, look at this guy. He's on steroids. I'm like, no, I just worked out. You're on
hard work.
I was like, that's what I'm saying. I was like, and we did that 3 or 4 times a week. And, of course, at this club called Spectrum, all the basketball guys used to go there. So we would work out, me and my teammate, Rusty Chapman, who was he was one of the better point guards that came out of, and we were just talking about this the other night, out of Baton Rouge one time. He played for NLU. I'm trying to think of where else he played. He went to a few different colleges. He was really good point guard.
Right. Yeah.
And so he went to that school, Central Private. He was one of those scored 40, 50 points a game type guy. So he helped us all out. But yeah, these strength coaches helped us out tremendously. So that started my health and fitness journey, was that right there.
Yeah.
Number one, I mean, I liked the fact that I was gaining weight and feeling stronger and all that stuff. But then I started to learn more and more about the health and wellness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, and tell me, because you've said, and you can tell by your lifestyle, your brain moves so fast, right? And you're always on the move. So, how have the things that you've done helped that process? I can see how, all of the things you do go into train that brain and then use it to its best. When you say it's a blessing and a curse, how have the sports helped you make that more of a blessing than a curse?
Well, I think it's the practicing.
Yeah.
Never bothered me. Practicing never bothered me in any sport that I ever did.
Huge.
And that's huge. That's
huge.
And people will tell you that if you know me, even at a younger age, you would, like, I'm one of those. You won't outwork me.
Right.
You just won't do it. You're not going to do it. And so even as a kid, like, I would go to practice and I would come home and I'd shoot more, I'd play more, or I'd get on my strength shoes and I'd go run around the goddamn block. And that was one of those things. And like, but you know, I mean, like I said, but what it would do sometimes is like, I made, you know, wasn't a straight A student, but I would have to break away from those things just in case. You know, I'd have to break away from the sports every night. It was hard for me to differentiate between the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, my teachers knew that too. I mean, I had teachers my senior year, like, good thing for you know, and they would tell me good thing for basketball, but it was, you know, I would just have to I had to one of my teachers, bless her, she was Miss Sandlin. She was great. She would pull me aside all the time and she was getting me ready for life after high school. And she passed away a few years ago. But me and her, I've got some beautiful letters that we wrote to each other. I thanked her so much. I mean, she called me out one day. So
he's back.
Okay.
Yeah. Wendy, were you a skinny kid?
No, no, I was not a skinny kid. I mean, I'm built the way I am now, so I don't know. Am I skinny? I was never like you see some bean poles around here. I was 5'10" by the time I was 13. So, like, you know, I was never a bean pole.
Yes.
I was always strong.
Listen to Wendy.
Well,
to the bean pole Danes in the magazine.
No, but you know what I
ain't
am?
it, Miss Thing.
Oh, heck no. The fact that I can be on here and say that right now, no, I can go into a gym and I will go and call out and go, gentle giant, gentle giant, gentle giant. I want them all to come to me and I want to teach them what I did not know coming all the way through. You guys both have your aggression and that edge that helped you. I did not have that. I did not have that. The reason I ended up playing volleyball because I wasn't aggressive enough to play basketball. I did for a while, didn't like it. And then I ended up in the swimming pool because no one's going to touch me and I'm just going to swim fast. So, you know, you're led into certain sports based on your personality. And volleyball and swimming are not aggressive people sports. And I'm a competitor, but I've had to learn to be aggressive. That's,
It does help. I mean, in a sense, I think it does, and that competitive nature. But like, man, I mean, but look at you. But the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh, Jason? Look at.
I was a fat kid.
I mean, Luke. Yeah. You were a little chubby kid.
I was Well, I grew up really, really skinny, but then when puberty happened and that appetite happened and the abuse I suffered made me take out my aggression in some food. So by the time I was ready to join the Army, I was like 240. And then out of boot camp, I graduated boot camp 199, and I looked skinny as fuck too, because I wasn't, you know, like Shawn, you know about body mass index, you know about bone structure and all that stuff. So I was like, I was a skinny 199, and then when I got out, I blew up to 265 pounds, and on my last podcast, I don't know if you know, I had the steak guy, I had the meat doctor, and he was, and I told him the story. I was 265, and I took a year and I lost 65 pounds.
Wow.
If you want, I'll tell it again. I had a scare on a train station.
Oh yeah.
And Wendy will appreciate this too.
This is the story.
So I'm on the train station, right? And Shawn, there's kind of like this guy that kind of looks like me, right? And you know, same hair, little Jew froze, got my nose, you know, little yellow complexion, the whole Simpsons thing and shit. So he weighs about 350. Right? So if you've been on the New York subway, right, you know how like they have the little two-seaters on the end? Like where two people could fit?
Yeah.
But for him it was just him.
Yeah.
Just the guy. Right?
Yeah.
So he breaks out a 20-piece, right? He breaks out some big ass French fries and this and that. And he's looking for a place to put it. Right? Doesn't know where to put it. I'm gonna use my phone. Doesn't know a place to put it. Looks at his stomach. Puts it on his stomach.
Oh my
starts
God.
eating chicken McNuggets off his stomach. And I looked at that dude like this.
Yeah.
Yo, something got to change. Something had to change, man. So I took on a trainer and I lost I took a year. I lost 65 pounds net weight.
Yes.
I got to 200 even. And when you met me, Shawn, when you met me in 2016, that was like my playing weight. I actually played in the qualifier that year in Manhattan Beach.
Yeah, that's right.
I got down to 200 even. And did I look fat? No, I looked skinny.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So
I think, you didn't. You
But
were wearing
Shawn,
tank tops every day.
Yeah, but Shawn, I know, right? Not anymore. But The quarantine 15, boy. But I'm on a steak diet though. Tell you what, I just lost 7 pounds in 7 days. I'm on carnivore diet right now, just meat only. I'm on a meat only diet.
Look, that's I've got a couple of pounds. Look, I stay at the weight I compete at 220, 222 is what we got to compete, but we have to weigh in with our gi on.
Right.
So
those are heavy.
Is it same day?
Oh,
is it same day weigh in?
It is. Oh no, Jason, I got to weigh in before. So we've got brackets of like I can't like some tournaments you can weigh in the morning. That's perfect for me. I'll go in there, I'll get down to my underwear and weigh in at 219, and I'm golden.
Everybody's happy.
Over here. That's why, like now I'm about to start. I'm about to get off of creatine, just take glutamine by itself, supplementations.
Right.
Supplements are going to switch, but no rice, no breads, no this, no that. I'm 223, 224 now, but I got to get down to like 220. I mean, 215, 216 is that safe spot. 218 is pushing it. And like when I went into Anaheim, this is why I was kind of like, when I got there, I had to go straight to the hotel and I had to like drink my athletic greens and just do things like that. I was weighing in nonstop. And when I went the morning before, the day before, I was actually heavy. I was like 219, 220. It's like, oh my god,
body's crazy like that, dude.
So that's right.
It's crazy like that, man.
I woke up that morning and I went downstairs to the hotel we were staying at, and there were like 15, 20 other competitors and fighters. Dude, everybody's taking off clothes, going to this scale in our underwear, and like we're all looking at each other. Everybody's like making weight. I got down to 218, so I felt comfortable. But and I was trying to get to that 215 spot. But when I weighed in, and I've got a special gi that I wear, but when I weighed in, I was 221.2. Oh. 222, and an ounce over 222 is disqualification automatically.
Yeah.
So with my height, it makes it like for me, it's good. But you got to think these guys. I'm like the one guy from where was he from? He was from like Juarez. One of the guys from Mexico that I competed against. That dude was like 6 foot, but he was
thick.
Yeah.
So he was thick and strong.
Yeah.
When I grabbed him, he wasn't like some other competitors. Like he's from Tijuana. So like when I grabbed him, it was just like, good God, this boy, he likes his tortillas. And so I just had to go to another game plan. I pulled guard, brought him down, and then actually we had 3 minutes of just nonstop grips and stuff like that. But like I said, I actually was able to sweep him, get my 2 points, and then I started working the mats pretty good. And but yeah, it's the weigh-in thing is a big deal, and it's actually that plays a lot. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. But now my
you keeping it in check where you're like not up a lot up and a lot down. I mean, that's so much better for your body overall.
And I don't think I'll ever. I've been 220 since I've been 25 at least. I mean, I got a little heavy before. At one point in time, no basketball, no nothing. I was shooting for that 240, 245 weight, but I was still ripped. I was still muscular and stuff like that. But I just got too heavy, and I was like, you know what? I can't really do anything with this. It's just walking around, and none of my pants fit because my thigh, so I didn't even. I kind of just went back to what I was doing, and I lost it pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just got down to that 220 range, so I always stayed around that. So that's a blessing for me. Like my professor, he's a world champion. Like I told you, he had to drop down like 60 pounds.
Yeah, see, I don't see how at our age that is not an easy thing to do, and nor is it.
No,
it's not sustainable. No. I mean, what you're doing, like you've got these daily habits, which if you're going to talk to younger athletes, the little things that you do and keeping up with them, and then over time building them, because then once they become just part of your autopilot, you can add something else, right? So. Like you're such a great example of longevity of an athlete, because you really do have to take care of yourself. Yeah,
I mean, Shawn, right now I'm 213, but during this quarantine thing, I got to like 221. So, but I'm trying out just this carnivore thing for the next 3 weeks. And because I don't have all the other added stuff that I used to eat with the pasta and all that stuff, like which I'm still okay with. 7 pounds, 7 days. My normal playing weight is 200 to 205. That's when you see me look normal and look like I'm in shape. 200 to 205. That's I can jump. I got muscle. A girl will bump into me and knock me down. 200. Yeah. Yes. Dude, because I got to 185 when I dropped the weight, Shawn. I got to 185. And I was at the Pottstown Rumble, right? And there was this girl who was like 6'3", and she ran into me just to give me like a friendly bump, and I fucking fell. I fell to the ground.
That's not your fighting way.
Yeah, I'm
No,
like, dude, I'm like, dude, I gotta learn how to.
Some people. So I've been able to sustain that. So it's easy for me, and as a competitor sense, because we do have some other teammates. They don't go down as drastic as Professor Rafael.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, he's a world champion. I mean, he's been there, done it all. So I've got that in my corner. The teachers, the professors that I've got. That's the thing about this jiu-jitsu is a little different than volleyball. It's organized coaching, and I mean, Gracie United is the name of the gym that I compete for. And we're called Jucal. It's Professor Jucal. He's in New York, actually, Jay. I'm probably going to come up there sometime this year. Man. That's where he's in New York right now.
Yeah, Henzo.
His story
is up there, right? Henzo?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly. So he was affiliated with all the Gracies and everything. So, I mean, but he came here to the States, and he's got his family, and he has New York gyms, Miami gyms, and of course, Professor Rafael's got all the gyms in Louisiana, Mississippi, this Southeast area. And but just like I did a interview with VSN, Varsity Sports Network, Eric Ritchie's group, just recently, and it was an awesome interview. And he's basically, it's called The Road to Rome. So they've been watching, keeping tabs on me as I'm preparing to go to Rome. And they kind of talked about why did I start? Well, I started because of Soren. So he's my why. And it's just like whenever I used to coach Seth with volleyball or Stella. They were like, oh, it's not that I didn't love volleyball or love being there, but that's one reason I kept playing so long, Jay, is because I wanted to play with Seth. Yeah. Whether it was I really wanted to play in a AVP qualifier with him if I could, but he's maturing a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll get on the courts if he starts to play again. But football his senior year, he wanted to go back and start playing. You can't.
You never get that back. No, and you're such.
That's what I told him. That's exactly.
Yeah,
what I told
and that's another great parenting thing that I've seen with you too. Is like as strong as you are, you also allow your kids to just be who they are, and they've had that example from you, and you can see it in all three of them.
We have to, guys. Shawn, we have to find ways to break the wheel.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like the abuse wheel.
Yeah.
We have to
break the cycle. Break the cycle.
It is. It's Jay. You know what it really is, and this is where my wife has come in, and I think she's shown me, she's loved me, and she's shown me love like nobody else has. Yeah. My grandmother, Rome, she's always been. She's the one woman growing up that I said she had never forsaken me and let me down. Me and my mom have got into it. I mean, that's just parents, and like I said, she raised 3 boys, and she did a hell of a job with what she was given. She made rock soup, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah. There were times whenever we had to get food donated to us. I mean, during Christmases, I mean, the police department and them would come by and give us gifts because we didn't have presents. And that's the kind of life it was we had for a couple of years. It wasn't all the time growing up, but that's a blessing. But through like my 5th to 6th grade year to like my 9th, 10th grade year, until I went to that school, that's what it was like. Right. And so that's a pivotal age for a male. Yeah. It kept me on the streets a little bit. It kept me outside the house, which was good, but it also kept me on the courts because growing up in Baker, that's the one thing I could do. I could go to one of these courts, play basketball. Everybody knew me, and I'd play there. I'd go play at different courts down the city from sun up till sundown. Yeah. So, that was a blessing in itself. But with my kids, the main thing was I'm spending extra quality time with them. And that's another thing, and I'm not pushing them to do it, but Jay, what we're doing is breaking generational curses. Yeah. I've had to talk. I've had real life conversations with this. It's crazy when I found out about like drug use or other, alcohol abuse and other things in my family. And I was like, wow. And then I start to meet, when I met my dad's real family, what's crazy is like, they had a whole family reunion for me. When I walked in the room, I always thought I looked like my mom, which I think I do. But like when I started to talk and my mannerisms, all of his cousins and all of my family members, there's like 60 of them. They're like, oh my, I mean, some people started crying. They were like, wow. You're your dad. And I'm like, and I didn't know him in that sense. I was like, tell me more. I got Aunt Janice and all these people giving me gifts that my dad had given them. So I got to know my real father, my biological father in a sense. And, and so, but he had some stuff with him too, that I learned. And it's crazy that these family members tell me, and I was like, look, you got to tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the reason I'm asking you this is because I've got demons. I've got things that, where do they come from? What do they do? Sure enough. And so I had to make a conscious effort to do this. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to break these. And it's rough. It's rough, especially when you tell your family about it, because they think half-assed. They're like, well, that's normal stuff.
Yeah,
It's not.
then you
Or,
become the black sheep, right? Because you're doing things
oh yeah,
differently, and
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah. And so like, it's what we talked about. It's everything's to me. I learned this is what really helped me, Jay. And this is, me and my dad didn't talk from 2018 to about 2020. Good thing he got sick. We thought he had COVID for a second, but he went to the hospital, and I started to catch up with him, and we had a talk. I mean, he'd gone so far one time. He's like, "You're not my son, so don't contact me," and all that stuff. And I was like, "Man, that's rough." But what I had to do is, it took years to realize I had to look at what he had been through, how he was raised, and who he was raised by. And then once I started to learn his background story, which was some things that I didn't know, it's like I matured in a sense, and I was like, that's why he was the way he was. That's why he did the things he did.
yeah,
Now, you can't make that as an excuse for everything, especially if you know better.
yeah,
But I started to have, what it was? I had empathy. I felt sorry for him. So
yeah,
as I started to talk to him in these later, like before he passed away. Me and
Okay.
him actually, we made up, which was great. I'm glad
Good.
that we
that's
did.
huge.
The
Yeah,
2021 in January, he called me. I still got the last voice message from him, but we talked, and I asked him how he was doing. I was like, I'm worried about you. You better health. He died of poor health. That's the thing. He had heart issues, liver issues. He drank heavily after he retired, and he was a gym. He went to the gym all the time in his earlier years. So, but
yeah,
he just kind of let it slide. But we did make up. I was able to talk with him. I told him, loved him. I said, look, he did a lot of good things. I said, this is the thing. I said, that you did some things. And he admitted to some of them. Some of them he's like, what? I didn't know. I was like, it's okay. You don't have to ever admit anything. Or you don't
Messed
have to
up.
tell me you're
Yeah.
sorry. I said, you did things that were good, and they were your good traits. So you did that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a hard worker. So I saw that growing up, and I knew that he grinded. You know what I mean? He
yeah.
was he was up
It's a
at. He's one of
great,
those guys. I'm up at. Yeah.
yeah. The
So you see
example of
that
that is huge. Absolutely.
But
it
yeah,
is.
I think
Yeah.
when you look at things like that retrospectively, and you're able to allow, well, first of all, you still had access to them where you can come back
Yes.
and have these conversations. And
That was huge. That was
Yeah,
huge. Those two conversations we had between January and June and his birthday. It's. I'm glad. People don't get that opportunity.
no,
And I got it. And I'm like, and then whenever my aunt called me, and she's like, he called, his phone aunt called me at 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, it's Dad. I said, hey, what's up? And she was like, oh no, it's me. She told me he passed away in the night. And I was just like in shock. I'm like, and he
yeah,
had just got in touch with me. He wanted me to look up a friend of his, and I was looking for her, and I actually found her, and she had contacted me, and I talked with her, but he really wanted to reconnect with her. This woman that, whenever he was in Florida, it was a girlfriend of his, and we loved her like she was like a stepmom. But I told her, I called her and told her that he was looking for her, and that he had passed away. So she was, but it was good that I was able to, tell him some of the way I felt, like, hey, we got into it because of this.
yeah,
yeah.
And he understood that. I was like, look, I said, I don't like the way that you did certain things. And it was as far as he goes, it was a good enough apology.
It was a man-to-man
You just
talk.
take it forward. Yeah. And so we've had them before, but they always ended up on the wrong side. So, it's one of these, we're button heads, and I'm saying this and he's saying that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but that was a relief off of me, that I was able to
absolutely.
talk with him
Yeah.
about that stuff and
Well,
tell him, hey, I forgive you. Like, I forgive you. Like, I had a big post about it. I was like, I forgive you for what you've done. And it's, and what you did to me, or what you did to anybody, or what anybody's done to me, isn't going to delegate what I do in the future. Because I used to live like that as a little kid. I felt like it was poor, pitiful me, because I didn't have any, you know what I mean? And so I used to just, that's the thing, Jay. I think that's why hate stays so long, because you have it, and it's yours. And of course it's deep seated. It grows, or it matures, but it's yours, and you try to hold on to it because it's a comfort zone with that hate and with that emotion
well,
and with that feeling.
it's comfort zone's an interesting word. I would go more with character armor. It's something
you're right.
you did when you're a kid, all right, from a toddler to a kid to a teenager to a young adult to an adult. Anything that interrupts something we perceive as normal psychological growth. We as kids, and I learned this in acting class, Shawn. We we build something called character armor, and a character armor is something that allows you to cope with, or that you think allows you to cope with these things. And it's weird, because the thing you choose as character armor to cope with it can make you go another way. And two things. One, I'm glad that the way you chose that allow you to break the wheel is very, very fortunate. Yeah. And two, I'm glad your father wasn't still mentally ill at a heightened level where you were able to broker that man-to-man conversation. Like my mom's mentally ill. She's at this place. You know, I'd like to reach you, but you're much too high. you know?
Oh yeah.
So
well, I had that before that time that had happened. He'd called me a few times, and you could tell he was either drinking or he was doing some stuff. And I'd look at the phone and I'd listen to the voicemail, and I knew something. You know what I started to do? I didn't even listen to the voicemails. I would send it straight to Angelique. I'd say, "Is it worth my time?" Because this is what I've learned, and this goes, I think, back to about 2 years ago, and this is what's happened. Is I started to realize that we're energy in a sense, and we've only got so much energy throughout the 24 hours that we're given. You can invest and give your energy to things that aren't going to grow and produce and flourish, or you can put your energy towards the things that are going to make a difference, going to grow, going to mature, going to make whoever you're giving it to a better person. Because some people, look, me and Wendy have talked about this numerous times. Energy vampires are a real thing. To the point to where I've wanted to second guess some of the stuff I've done. And you know what happens is I'm in this slump. And look, when the volleyball thing was going on, I asked myself, I was like, what are you doing? Because I had family members ask me that. Yeah. Like, Shawn, you're like 40 years old and you want to go play. I was like, well, number one, I can financially do it. Yeah. So I'm a grown man. I'm a grown ass man. So what's the deal?
What's it to you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's it to you?
And so, but they're just like, well, it's not normal. I was like, well, number one, what the hell is normal? Number one, it's something that I love. It keeps me, number one, in great shape. Number two, it keeps me out of a bar. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to go, run around and do all this crazy stuff. And it gives me time with my family is the way I looked at it. But, but I said, but I love it. I love it because whenever I was on the court when I first started, it took I didn't think about the things that I didn't want to think. I think, with not having time with Seth and Stella, that's what kept me from really going crazy. Is getting to play volleyball. So when I got on the court, no matter who it was with, everything else disappeared, right? And we all know how that happens. I mean, how that goes. It's our release. Yeah. It's our safe place. It's and I can't wait to start playing back again. It's just right now, like I said, I'm on this.
Well, you're on a mission, but you're still on the mission of making your body and your brain connect and feel good. Yes. And that you pay that out to everybody around you. And that's
and so it's huge. I think it's huge. And I've look, even one of my business partners, he started getting into better shape and stuff, and he started going to the gym, and he's like, well, what are all these supplements you take? And at first he used to pick with me. Look, I was like, Herb, you're a lot older than me. I said, you can benefit from some of this. He started taking some of the supplements, like athletic greens and some of the digestive stuff, and he's like, oh my God, no heartburn. I feel better. I've lost this weight. I was like, yes. I was like, it's it keeps you feeling better. If you feel better, you're gonna do better. You're gonna produce better. You're gonna be in a better state of mind. And people don't understand that, especially with a lot of gut health. I'm a big proponent on that.
Amen.
It's huge because everything.
Yeah, that's your other nervous system.
It's your core, man.
That's
it is.
The enteric nervous system, and it is making you the way you take in the world.
Yeah. Cortisol is also a real thing too.
Oh, for sure.
It is.
The build up or whatever.
Big time.
I mean, I used to watch all those belly fat commercials. Remember? And it was really about women. Women, do you have a problem with belly fat? And she said belly fat with this
venom.
With contempt. With belly. Do you have belly fat? Yeah. Well, if you have belly fat, it was the exact same fucking way. And Shawn's onto something. That's a real thing, dude. And talk to me more about the vampire thing.
Oh yeah.
So, and how you overcome the vampire thing.
I mean, look, there was a point in time when I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. I mean, of course, I got lots of negative energy with the volleyball thing. Number one, I did good. I mean, I was doing well locally, and then I played with some good players and other partners, and then I started to play with a younger player that was smaller. And of course, this is crazy because I went from either winning or getting to the finals in most of the tournaments I played into. Went with this other guy, and we didn't win a whole game for like 5 tournaments. But he was the first person that I really got to coach with. But I had to learn from that situation, and him and I actually ended up doing really well at the end, and we had fun, and that was a good thing. But I learned that being around like the energy stuff, like being around negative energy or giving your energy to people that really don't care if they get it or not, good or bad, you got to walk away from that.
And I mean, it's the vibrational energy that you and I have talked about.
Yeah.
Like, you get around Shawn, you sense when you come around somebody else that's lifting other people up.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Correct.
vibrating at that higher frequency that's like with gratitude and love and when you're down here in shame and fear and all of that place, which
first, second, and third chakra.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
Fear, shame, and guilt. That's first, second, and third, right there.
And think about that. Your root. So when your root is down there, like you're not going to be able to produce doing the things that all three of us have come through stuff and learned how to climb that hierarchy.
What was the restaurant we went to in New York or New Jersey at the hotel?
New Jersey?
Oh, no.
Was it Carmine's?
Carmine's.
We went to Carmine's.
Yes.
Well, we went to a bunch of different restaurants, but Carmine's when we had I think we must have
Steak
stayed
dinner.
there for 2 or 3 hours.
We went vegan just for Kenny.
Right.
Oh, that one.
Right? We had vegan pasta, which, by the way, was awesome.
Yes, that's right.
I was thinking of the steak place, though.
No, the steak place
The
after that
steak
was
place.
awesome.
The
That
steak
was
place was awesome.
The palm.
the
Yeah.
palm.
The palms, but we went. That's right. With Kenny, we went to get that pasta with that big feed me thing, and I walked in, and there was like a trough on the table with like pasta here and salad here, and that was good stuff.
But the reason
good
why I
stuff.
even brought it up is because I can take that moment at Carmine's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you watch people who are in the tournament walk by us. From like the people who were in the qualifier rounds, all the way to Theo and Kane walked by. They said hi, gave me a pound, all the way up to Jeff Conover, who was there just to see what all the hubbub was about because he heard a lot of good things about Coconut Beach and wound up coming to Atlantic City.
Yeah,
it was one of those things where everybody that walked past us envied us on a different level because of the fellowship. The big smile on our face, not worrying about who's hanging out with who, not where the four of us, because Kenny completes that, right?
Yeah,
Kenny
he was
completes
great.
that. So the four of us sitting at that table, like anyone can come sit with us. It could be President Obama, it could be Jeff Conover, it could be Torrin Jeffries. Was one of the most liberating feelings in the world, and I'm only bringing it up because I realize it at the moment. It's not something I'm looking back retrospectively and saying that's cool, which is cool because I'm still doing that too, right? But I was realizing at that moment. I looked at Shawn, I looked at Wendy, and I looked at Kenny, and we got vegan pasta in front of us, and. And I asked myself, with respect to my gorgeous, beautiful, educated, hot, sexy wife. See that picture behind me? Well, look at that. Didn't it look like Kelly Larson? Didn't I look like Kelly Kalinske behind us? Look at the picture, Wendy. You pull it up.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, pull it up. Just pull it. It's not on the frame, so you can just pull it out.
Gotcha. Where am I going?
Just show it to Shawn.
Shawn,
that's. Sorry, I'm
I don't know which
my bad, let me do
cameras
this.
got Shawn.
That looked like Kelly.
There you go.
Doesn't that look like Kelly Kalinske?
Yes, indeed.
That's Kelly Campbell. No, but I think the
That's
point I was
awesome.
trying to make was
Rockstar.
Is there any place in the world I'd rather be than there? There was, and the answer was absolutely not. There was no place in New Jersey, no less, right? There was no place. There was no place in the world at that time, in that place with those people that I would rather be. And if anyone ever asked me about Wendy and asked me about you or whatever, it'd be a boring story, but that would be exactly what I would use to describe your character, your demeanor, your compassion, your empathy, And all of these virtuous things that people don't really talk about, but they so grasp and want in such a bad way.
The world wants to tell a certain story about women and men, and I will sit here today and say that people get brought into your life for a reason. I believe that it's all connected. Shawn, you and I, we've said that a million times. And people want to tell a certain story. But the thing is, you guys have been brought into my life to show me that there are good men out there that come through really tough things, that rise up and respect women and are all about being strong on their own and allowing that female to be strong on her own and coming together and creating a relationship that is
And what better men than Shawn Ledig?
Kenny,
and Kenny, three different personalities, right?
And people will say, "You're going where? You're going where for how long with who?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's great time. It's amazing."
Yeah.
So, Shawn, can I tell you a really quick funny story about Kenny? What the kind of guy Kenny was and how he's matured since he had a kid. We're at BBQ, right? And we just came from a game. Our volleyball sponsors with us, and there's like 8 of us indoor. And we were talking about relationships, and I'm like, Kenny, will you tell everybody at this table the single most important thing men are supposed to remember at this relationship, right? So there are 2 tables full of women, right? And now they're leaning in, right? And there's one guy at the table surrounded by women or whatever, and Kenny goes, "Head ain't cheating."
Oh my God.
And the girls at the table just go, "Oh my God, come on." And the one guy at the table who is like alone, surrounded by all those women goes, but that was the kind of guy Kenny was, that it wasn't offensive to women because of how he said it. He didn't mean it, it's just, but it was one of those things that made women go, "Oh, come on," but it was playful.
He is a character.
And he's even had that virtue before he had a kid. So that was just a cool story I wanted to share about Kenny. Yeah, he said, "Head ain't cheating."
He is something else, man. You know what? We should have taken him to karaoke with us. Next time, no matter where, whatever city we're in, we got to go. We got to hit up the, Well, look, Louisiana Beach Week is going to be coming back to Louisiana for sure, and then
we'll talk more about that off camera. Right?
And there's going to be an AEP event that's a bigger event that they're working on to get back down. So we, hopefully when their schedule comes out, I think that it'll be a good thing. Yeah. There'll be the few more tournaments from what I've been talking. I've been talking with AVP and AVP America, which some of it we can't really discuss now.
But they're trying to do 10 stops, right?
Yeah, they're trying to bump it up. They're trying to make different tiered stops, and I mean, good. Oh, listen,
the tiered stops are awesome.
Yes, so everything that they've talked about and everything that we've gone over, usually we get in touch with each other. I get to talk with them at least once every 2 weeks with Jeff and Wayne and everybody else, and they're coming around, and the stuff they're saying it's stuff that people have been saying, but basically now I think after the last year, because after COVID finished up, I mean, it was a strong season.
Yeah,
people, regardless, but I mean, it because everybody was so anxious to get out and start doing things again, that it made the season what it was, and I think that gave them ground and traction to keep moving forward, and they're going to do it. And so with Bally's picking everything up, which we knew about, that it was good. It was good to see that happen, because I think they've got the financial part of everything locked up, and let's hope that these next years are what we've all expected from the pro, AVP and every NBL, and hopefully, listen, I'm hoping that the FIVB, whatever I don't know if they changed their name, but hopefully they at least put some stops on U.S. soil. I mean, come on, man. They should at least do 2. I mean,
well, there's a whole bunch of the reasoning that even I'd love to talk off camera about that, and it's weird for someone like me who doesn't have a filter, that's not willing to talk about it on camera. It would sell out too many people. But we definitely want to have that conversation. We definitely want to have that conversation over some steak, okay?
Yeah. Once, we can do that, and once everything's solidified, and I know they've got some changes that were made in the past week or two. That's what was brought to my attention. So once all those changes are refined and everything in the schedule is concrete, we're definitely going to have a call together and discuss. Because we definitely got to make some travel plans. Because I'm after Rome. I might make it to the Pans, and I think that's going to be. And I may not. I may not make it to Pans. I mean, I'm sitting on that number 1 spot. I may just take some time off, and just kind of work, heal the body up, transition over a little
Okay.
bit, and
Yeah.
then start competing again. But in the summertime,
Wendy,
we'll do some
what do you
volleyball.
expect from the tour this year? With Bally's joining them and handling a lot of the bells and whistles, what's one thing you expect from them as far as
I'm hoping better.
it's mild, doesn't even have to be significant improvement, mild improvement.
I mean, the fans were starting to come, so I'm hoping that just we're breaking out of this COVID thing,
Yeah.
and they put some good marketing behind it because. I mean, the volleyball world is so connected that everyone's everyone's chomping at the bit for the schedule to come out. So I think, they put some good marketing, get some money in it for these players.
Do you know what
I want to see these guys be able to do this for a living so that we can keep watching this.
Shawn,
it's.
Correct.
Shawn, do you know what I want to see?
What's that?
Now that Bally's has handled like a lot of the bells and whistles, and there are these opportunities where but more butts are going to be in seats, and because of the live streaming platform, more eyes are going to be on them.
Right.
Yes.
Dana White once said, remember you ever used to watch Ultimate Fighter, like that first one where this guy didn't want to fight, this one wanted to go home, and Dana was losing his mind because they were in the red, right?
Yep.
UFC was in the red. And he goes into that house and says, do you want to be an Ultimate Fighter? So I pose that question to the volleyball people. Do you want to be a volleyball player? If I go by a court on Huntington Beach, Shawn, and I watched 6 plays and I watched both teams doing a feeling out process, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to walk the fuck away. Yeah. You know why? Those teams played each other. They're scrimmaging each other probably tomorrow morning. They certainly were this morning. I don't want to see this feeling out process of going through the motions. Going through the motions is not a bad thing when you're in practice. Going through the motions when you're trying to try something technically different or whatever.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you even have to yell at anybody. Like Buttinger, Phil, like Karch back in the day, those guys let their play do the talking. So my question is, now that you're running more. How are you running out of excuses? Do you want to be a volleyball player? Because if I think that and I don't want to watch the game, I can't imagine like someone who walks by Huntington who's never seen the game, and they're like, let me stop and watch a couple of plays. This looks interesting. Anybody that's played or seen any other sport knows the feeling out process when you see it. So I'm not talking about volleyball credentials and what people know about volleyball. It has to be interesting. So that's what I demand. That's what I demand. I don't even think, Shawn, at this point, for commentating, because of you putting yourself out there for me and giving me those opportunities. I thought Coconut Beach was a smash. I thought that was an A+ thing for me. And whatever, what was it? Jersey, right? Atlantic City. Atlantic City was kind of. Atlantic City is still kind of. It's kind of a B performance.
You're hard on yourself about that one. I'm
not hard on myself. I'm not hard on myself that it was still good to wax Helbeheim. I mean, in center court. So no disrespect to her. Still better. I mean, you watch MMA, Shawn, right? Yeah. Remember Anderson Silva against Chael Sonnen? Mm-hmm. They said, Chael, how do you feel today? He's like, I'm exhausted, I'm hurt, I'm sore, and I'm still good enough to whoop this guy's ass. That's how I feel. But the thing I like about the AVP, to Jeff Conover, to Josh Glazebrook, they come up to me in Atlantic City and they started talking about my military service. They started talking about my Division I and Division III experience. They started talking about prison ministry, stuff that you have to, Shawn, you have to look for. You have to look for. Even if they say no, I'm good. Yeah, I was recognized and I was respected for my work because the three of us know I'm not. I don't mean to make this about me, but I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So, and the reason why I brought this in, I even brought this up, was because it was supposed to be a full question circle, Kanye West style. Talk about myself and then make it about you. What do you expect from the tour that you saw, not necessarily significant improvement, but something you saw last year that you're like, I want a little bit more of that?
Well, the number of stops. I want more stops because that not only is that good for the players, it's also good for the fans because it's not fun whenever the Texas group they got a large following or these players they don't get a stop in their area, and it was hard to travel last year, so that limits them on what they can do. Have a good 8 to 10 stop season. Now look, this is the thing about the tier system. They don't all have to be the $170,000, $200,000 stops. They can be the 75,000, 50, 75, 100,000.
Yeah, that energy that you brought at Coconut. That's
right.
That same energy.
What was tournament of the year?
That was, and this is the
Coconut Beach.
For me, it was Coconut Beach.
That was a group. That was a group effort. That's something that we had worked on that I had wanted to bring since 2018. That's why I started even promoting volleyball tournaments for AVP America with Carly and them. When she got in touch with me, I was like, this is something I'm gearing for. There's a thing that I want to have, and I want it to be a beach week. And you saw they got to do that actual that format in other places. Right. So that's going to continue to, which is a good thing.
It was a tour atmosphere. It was a tour stop atmosphere.
Yeah, and everybody was so ready to. Everybody was so ready to get out that it was the perfect storm, guys. That's exactly what happened. You know, Rob and Mick, they helped me out a lot. I mean, Rob was really integral in what he did, and he was with me too. I mean, me and him were on the phone all the time talking about stuff, and Mick was there too. Got to give him credit where credit's due. But I mean, that was something that we were, and it was better than I expected. And that's a good thing. But I hope we have more stops like that next year.
I would agree.
And then with the players, I want to see, the one thing I want to see, and I think that's like, I like Trevor. I want to see him I want to see that kind of intensity out of more players. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
They're good for the sport, dude.
That's right. And I want to see guys that they're bringing it to each other, not just in the finals. I mean, bring it, after Friday. I'll bring it.
And didn't we see that at Coconut Beach?
That's right. Oh man, listen, that Dentler match and all those other matches, a few matches before that, they were ridiculous.
Yeah. Dentler and Ferrari against.
Yes.
Oh my God, Corey and Logan. That semifinals was probably better than the finals.
Yes.
And look, didn't the finals deliver too? I mean, Peter had a bad wheel, and he's still trying to jump serve. He had a bad Rafa Rodriguez.
He looked to the naked eye, and we talked about this. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows that he's even in pain because of the way he played. Yeah. But me and you, like when I pointed out to people, we're sitting there on the center court, side of the court. His calf is locked up the entire match. His legs are. I'm like, man, look at this. I can't even believe he's moving like this. But that just shows you right there what type of he's a warrior. Yeah, it's what it is. I mean, that's like the other day, like in that tournament. I'm going over and I'm coming back from an injury, but I ripped my rib cartilage in the finals of my tournament.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I got into the absolute division. If you win gold, you get to go in the absolute division, and there's no weight division to it, so everybody's lumped in. So and I actually won. I got to the semis, won that. I lost in the finals, but I had to tap out. I couldn't. But that's just. I think that's certain players and certain people. Like I was, The nurse was like, I had a black eye at that tournament. They're like draining my eye, a ribs ball, popping it out. And I was like, no, let's get it. So I think that sometimes that's just athletes, you know, if you can push it. I mean, I think so. I think that's the better way to do it. And, look at Larissa, man. She had cramps so bad because of the humidity that she actually they had to forfeit a game.
Yeah.
But that
did prepare them. That did prepare them for Chicago, right? Qualifier the draw to the finals. Yeah, man.
That's right. So they lived and learned off of that experience. So it was good. It was good stuff. But guys, I mean, that's what I hope to see. But I know this is the thing, talking to Wayne and Carly and Tony, like, Chase Frischman is going to come to Coconut, I think next month. I'll be in Rome. I'll be in Italy for a week, and I got some other Mardi Gras next month. So it's going to be a crazy month anyway. But Chase is going to come into Louisiana. And I'm going to try to get him in with one of the nonprofits. He's going to do a free clinic at Coconut Beach for the underserved population in New Orleans. And I'm going to try to get something out on that, guys. But Tony and them had hit me up and talked to me about it. But they're ready. They're ready for the season for the start, and I think that it's going to be a good one. I feel that it's going to be a good one with everything that they're putting into it. So.
Yeah. Hey people, this is the AVP
check out this
bringing you guys up to speed. The number one.
Sorry, it's gonna clear up in a minute. But look at the scene.
Yeah.
Look at the. Oh my God. Sorry, this is bad. Now look at the camera work. Look at the background. Look at the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like Atlanta? Doesn't that look like Chicago? Doesn't that look like Manhattan Beach?
Look at that. I mean. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, VSN, like I said, Eric Ritchie and his group, and hopefully they're going to be doing a lot more of that with volleyball. I mean, they do a lot of sports, Louisiana,
Here it is.
local
Here's the last
sports.
play of the game.
Yeah, this was.
Watch this.
Look at it.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, he's moving around and he's cramping out. I mean, his legs are cramped and he's moving around.
Look at the camera work. This is something like FIVB. I need permission. Sorry,
it's high level.
I need permission from what's his name to air that, because that's on an unlisted link.
Eric.
But I want to get Eric's permission.
I talked to Eric this morning, and I'll talk with him. I'll probably got to give him a call tomorrow morning, because he's got some interesting stuff that he's been, working on. And
I video captured that finals for my own files for reference.
Yeah.
But I think it's time. It's a year old. I want permission from Eric to share that, because I have a lot of friends who are FIVB. Like, my subscriber list has picked up. Right now, Shawn, I think I'm the most viewed. I have the highest viewed of YouTube video. It's 3.4 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My most.
For which one?
Yeah, the podcast. Let me tell you something. The podcast, YouTube don't like my podcast, but iTunes, Spotify, Facebook, they like it. But as far as like me, turning Shawn, like turning a camera on, and like just calling the match behind the camera. My most viewed video is 3.4 million.
That's amazing.
I don't think anyone's even close. Not even the AVP, not the FIVB.
Yeah, no, not even close. And there's no way. So this is the
Fallon for number one.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It's Fallon for number one. I'll just admit it. Yeah. It's Fallon for number one.
Well, there you go.
She's awesome.
But it's going to be a good season. I mean, everything that's going to fall into place. Like I said, I'm gearing up to go to Rome, so I'll be out of the country for almost 2 weeks.
It's going to be fun.
And then what's funny is I'm coming right in from Rome. I'm just, my teammates, we've got the New Orleans, the IBJJF New Orleans Open. And I told my teammates, I'll come watch y'all. Well, if I'm going to get off the plane from Rome, and then I'm going to come home, take a nap, get some rest, and I'm going to go straight over to New Orleans and compete in that one. So I got two big tournaments back to back. I was like I said, let's just get it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And so then after that one, like I said, if I can get those, get on the podium for those and get that gold medal, it'll put me in that number one spot. And I think I'll be able to sit back for a couple of weeks, not stop training, but no competing for probably the next couple months. And then I want to get some stuff. But I'm coaching a girl or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going over to Coconut Beach, or maybe going over to White Sands and getting some touches in, just so I can get some stuff. Me and Chris Ships, Cali Bear and everything. We've been talking about playing a few tournaments. So that'll be, and it'll be a good change of pace. But, I think and that'll, it'll keep me there, because I'll probably be there anyway. So
I want him on the podcast back.
Yeah.
He's neck deep right now in epidemiology and virology or whatever.
Oh my God.
He's neck deep in that.
Really?
Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm getting a text, guys. I think I'd started I was cooking some stuff. I know.
I've got a kid to go pick up too. So.
But
I knew we'd
awesome.
go on too long.
Cowards.
Yeah.
Cowards.
2 hours.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's us.
We did.
It's us. It's like the only thing that's different now.
Wait, it's 2 hours. You're right.
We just don't have. Yeah, we don't have any steak.
It is not a big deal.
I just marinated myself.
This day was perfect actually to get all this taken care of, because tomorrow starts I got a thing that I've got to take care of out of town. So
okay, well I owe
couldn't have been better timing.
I owe you a list of restaurants for Rome, and I wish you the best of luck. Not that you need it. I don't like luck.
Yes.
But you're gonna go and kill it.
Luck is for losers.
Yeah,
amen. That's right. This is what I tell the girl. I don't tell anybody good luck anymore. I say, go do your best.
I know. Yeah.
I tell my kids, I'm like, go do your best. Let's get out there and get some work. And like I tell, I had a talk with Meredith, so she's on my mind. She sent me this little bracelet as a good luck charm. So thank you, Meredith and Paula. I love
my
those
gosh,
two.
That's awesome, dude.
They are fantastic.
She is just amazing. Yeah, she is amazing. That's an amazing. Those two are amazing women. Yep. And so she's worked hard. She's gonna actually be y'all's way. She's gonna go play for San Jose. I told her
San Jose, straight down the road from Luke. I'm gonna be able to catch a beach match of hers and an indoor match of Luke.
Jay, I don't know if you know that. Well, you know the story that I met her at Beach Week, and she was not even on anybody's radar. And she just said, "This is." She did what I want kids to do. I want to do this. Okay, well, this is what you got to do.
Wow,
and then when Jason coached, he helped. We were coaching him at Atlantic City. look, Jason, he dissected the other team with the quickness, and they ended up beating like the number one seeded team in their bracket.
Yeah.
Like these two little girls from Miami. And I was like, and that was not the one they thought they were supposed to win.
Yep.
And that right there, I saw her demeanor change after that win, Jason.
Yep.
And it
And
was
I was
real.
like, and now look at her. So she's gone everywhere. She came back home and she came back down here. I worked with her on some stuff, the stuff that she's got. Like, look, this is what you have to do. Split blocking or defense is what you have to, and so, but that game right there, Jason, was a pivotal point to watch her. And once she did that in the tournament she started to play in and she got better and better, then coaches, I mean, of course I made some, I did my part just like anybody
and
else.
I did
making
mine
a phone
too with
call here.
LMU with John Mayer.
That's right. Exactly. With John Mayer and them. So, I mean, but
She's
then
at
I was
Davis.
like, but
She's
at the end of
Davis, right?
No, she's going to San Jose State.
No, she's going to San Jose.
Oh,
So what
okay.
I told her, I was like, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. And so, but man, I love it whenever she sends me little, like her and her mom will send me letters or little notes and just tell them, like this is a little leather band. I love it. And it talks, and it has the dates of Rome. Like they're like, good luck in Rome.
They really are. They're just amazing people. They're
Show that band again.
And so, so it's like a little cool it's awesome. And it's got a little thing on it. And it's got a little quote on it. And so basically, I mean, it's, and I love it whenever that's what keeps me going with some of the times with coaching and the volleyballs. I get these parents and so I usually get a girl or two each year. And that's what I told Wendy we've been doing since like 2017. And I've worked with them to go to prep them for college. And I've always used Joey or Drew to kind of transition them off to, which that's the best two around here that anybody can go work with.
Savages.
And what's awesome is all I do is give them the front work. Let's get the journal. Let's put things down. Let's write it. Let's get our goals. Let's do this. This is what we got to eat. This is what we have to train. This is how we got to get a personal trainer. And out of the two each year, everybody signed.
Nice.
So I'm having a great, I love it.
Yeah.
So
that
keeps me going.
Cool, man. What keeps me going? Feeding the needy, man. We gotta go.
Yes.
I've been marinating steak the last 3 hours. I did it just before I started this podcast.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's a 3-week experiment. I just want to see how my body feels appetite wise, because I thought I would neurologically miss like pasta, cheese, bread, and all that stuff. And I'm 7 days into it, and I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're really over the big hump. Like that's what my body. So that's what I'm gonna. I had sushi today, guys. I eat that all the time because it's just a lighter meal, and I try to eat the smaller meals right now because I'm intermittent fasting still. So 10:30 to 8 now, and I'm about to jump to 12 to 8. So it's a little harder, but no rice, no carbs, no breads, and I'm about to do the same thing you're doing. It's all going to be hard, sustainable proteins. And then what I'm going to do is maybe throw in a little bit of carbs but the only vegetable type carbs. But really,
isn't it amazing what your body reproduces on its own?
Man, it's crazy.
Do you know? Did you know? I had a nutrition guy. Did you know we used to be able to reproduce our own vitamin C? We as human beings a few hundred years ago have evolved, and we no longer produce our own vitamin C. But I think when we started necessitating our vitamin C as generations and kids have kids until it was gone, and that's what I think actually.
That's wild. That's evolution. That's evolution.
So
and that's
we used to produce our own vitamin C.
I gotta listen to that. I gotta listen to that.
You have to listen to this guy. You have to listen to this podcast, dude.
Yeah.
His name is Dr. K, Dr. Bart K.
Okay.
Bart K. That's why I get into so much of the digestive stuff. And I gotta tell people right now, like what's the first thing? I was like, guys, your digestive enzymes, probiotics, all this stuff. I said, because garbage in is garbage out.
Yep.
And I said, if your body's not digesting even good foods, if it's not digesting properly, you're not getting what you need out of it, and it's not expelling what it needs to do. So right then and there, and like you said, there's so much nerves in that whole.
Yeah.
So that's the largest.
Exactly.
Stress.
Yeah.
So it is, man. Stress, guys. Yeah. We definitely. That's another subject all in itself. But,
I know.
Yeah, make sure we got some off the record dialogue gonna do about Beach Week in Louisiana, because
we do.
The sooner I know, the better. Because right now, I'm back in the club scene. I don't know if I told you. Jason Olive approached me about coaching LA Volleyball Club, and Dane Blanton's doing the LA Beach portion, and I actually said nah. I know to both, but then they both came to me together. to coach both. So now I'm doing both. I'm doing
Well,
LA
that is
Volleyball
awesome.
Club for Jo and LA Beach for Dane.
Yeah.
And
Shoot.
they got me. I got honey dick, dude. I got honey dick, dude. I got
Hey,
hoodwinked.
that's all right. Look,
Yeah.
it doesn't get much sweeter than that.
You
So I
know,
tell you what.
basically, we're just trying to get more black people to play volleyball. You know, I drive.
Hey,
Instead of walking
yeah.
down the hill, I now drive 40 minutes inland, almost an hour
Yeah.
inland, just to
Yeah.
promote or whatever, because they have some
Well,
elite
that's
athletes.
good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is what I'm
And the
going
whole
to do.
coaching staff
whenever,
is black. The whole coaching staff is
I
people of
I
color.
might get in
How
touch
about
with
that?
Dane
I-
about yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Well, that's what this with Chase coming in. That's what I'm talking about with that free clinic.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Oh,
We
Frisch?
wanted to do it during
Please.
beach week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to do it during beach week, but I mean, like, well, what happened is like Phelan and some other girls. They were going to help out, but that's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to get these kids from the Ninth Ward and these other like
Yeah.
low income areas and like quote unquote African American like neighborhoods and stuff. Get them over there to come. And it doesn't matter. Just anybody of like I said, less fortunate. We call it underserved, which is volleyball terminology. But
Well, it's a
get
rich
them there
person's
because
sport.
it's free. It is. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how much
Sounds
money
like
this sport costs.
Yeah.
Who you talking to, man? I mean, I'm an engineer with a structural firm with an engineering firm and multiple businesses, and I'm still trying to ask people, Nick, like, hey, y'all want to help me do this thing? People are like, what? I'm like, man, I got kids,
I know.
so no, but it definitely.
You know
is
what
a
it
very
is?
expensive-
Picture having like a money argument. It's like, I could buy you twice, you broke bitch. And it's like, well, I play volleyball. And that's like,
Oh, yeah, right. I know, and that's it. Something's got to change with that, but it will. But it's just going to take a little time, I think.
All right. Well,
cool.
but-
Let's wrap up.
I know.
They
I
texting
mean-
you, right?
No, I just know I gotta go get Kate in 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm getting text.
Yeah.
I'm getting text. Dinner's ready. It's
Totally.
8:00. And
Yeah.
then Stella texted me once or twice, and then Angelique
You
texted
said
me.
it's
Yes,
Wendy said it would be an hour, and I was like, dude, my podcasts are an hour, but every time I get together and Jay and I talk, we go for 2. So I should have known better.
We ran out of recording space.
What's meant to be will be.
Yes.
Yo, our
So,
file ran
that's-
out the last time. This
Yeah.
thing records
Oh,
2 hours and
gosh.
26 minutes, so we had to make a decision to stick another file in or
That's
wrap
right.
up.
That's right.
And we
Well,
went.
look, we only got about
Yeah.
12 minutes. So
Yeah.
we gotta
I
wrap
know.
it up.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy, take us home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I know that you were this conversation's meant to be, and it could go on forever. So, Shawn, thanks for doing what I meant to say, and Jay, the option. I don't know. We're
I don't know.
co-owning this deal.
Yeah,
so.
man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is worthy of the option. Huh? I mean, this is
huge.
this is
That's
some
huge.
Wendy. This is some high level Wendy Jones shit, dude. So I don't know.
Yes, indeed.
All right, people.
All right. Well,
All right.
we're out. Thanks for joining us for the What I Meant to Say podcast. For more real conversations like this one, come on over to the Be Better community at www.bebetterwithwendyjones.com, a place for athletes and parents to grow and find meaning behind what we do every day so that we can be strong on our own and better together.